Hello, welcome to CWP Week 2. This week we are going to be looking at the logical fallacy of avoiding the question. The first fallacy in this group is the red herring fallacy. So actually what I'd like you to do right off the bat is to pause this video, go to Google Classroom CWP Week 2 homework, and you will see several YouTube videos posted there or attached to that assignment. So what I'd like you to do right now is go watch the video that is titled Red Herring. After you're done watching that video, come back here and I will be waiting for you to discuss the rest of this. So as you could see from the red herring video, the red herring is a distraction from the main topic. It introduces an irrelevant point into the argument. Someone may think or wants us to think it proves their side, but it really doesn't. Where did the name come from? Well, there's been many stories told, but all involve drawing someone or something of their trail with a dead fish, otherwise known as red herring. Thieves with cops, dogs in training, Native Americans with wolves, things like that. So let's look at the conversation on this next page. Jenny, girls are much smarter than boys. Bert, oh yeah, how do you know, Jenny? Because they just are. Bert, but how do you know it? Jenny, there are lots of girls who have done lots of smart things. Our neighbor, Mrs. Jones, is pretty smart. Joan of Arc saved the French from the English, and Madame Curie invented the light bulb. Bert, but how do you know they are smarter than boys? Jenny, because there are many girls who have high IQs. That makes them smart. Bert, you still haven't answered my question. Why are girls smarter than boys? Jenny, well, I'm smart and you're dumb. That proves it. So as you can see, totally distracting and going off on a tangent that basically has nothing to do with the question at hand. Here are a couple other examples of the red herring fallacy. Sparkle Dent is great for reducing cavities. Dentists say cavities are the #1 dental problem in America. So you can see that the second sentence is a red herring. It takes you off on a whole different way. It's then talking about some sort of statistic that really has nothing to do with the fact that Sparkle Dent is great for reducing cavities. Another one. Porcupines make good pets. Studies show owning a pet makes children happy. Okay, nothing not related to the original statement. The next fallacy that I would like us to look at is called the special pleading fallacy. This is when someone argues for an unjustified exception. For example, Asher, why are you eating that? I thought you were on a diet and weren't going to snack between meals. Imogen, it's only cookie dough. It's not even cooked. It doesn't really count as snacking if it isn't cooked yet. So you can see that the reasoning there makes no sense about not having a snack. Another example. I know I need to control my anger, but Dad, this time my sister was nagging me so much and the only thing I could do was lock her in the closet. How to recognize. When someone makes a justification, you might want to think, is this exception relevant or is it distracting us from the issue at hand? Note, special pleading is technically a type of red herring, and I'm sure you could see that by the examples. They're very closely related. The next fallacy that we're going to look at is the ad hominem attack fallacy, which is basically attacking the person instead of the argument. So I'd like you to once again pause this video and go to Classroom Homework Week 2. You will see a YouTube video there that is called Ad Hominem. I'd like you to go watch that YouTube video. I'll be waiting here for you. So when you're done watching it, come back here and we will continue. Okay, I trust that helped to explain the ad hominem attack. This is when someone attacks the person making the argument instead of the argument itself. This is very common in political debates. I'm sure if you're aware at all of political debates, you have seen this where they attack the person instead of what the person stands for or what the person says. They simply just go after the character of the person. And many times it can even be with lies. Ad hominem is Latin for to the man. Here's an example. Jenny, my uncle says that all murderers should be put to death because then nobody would want to murder anybody anymore. Sylvia, wasn't your uncle in jail once? I don't think that we can trust the opinion of someone who was once a criminal. Okay, just attacking the fact that a person was a criminal. It's not really a reason for somebody to not have an opinion. Note, it is not ad hominem when someone questions only whether someone is telling the truth. For example, if they have been proven to lie in the past, it's normal to not trust them. So that wouldn't be just an attack on their character. It would be a question of something that they actually did. The next fallacy that I would like to talk to you about is the tu quo qui fallacy. The definition of this fallacy is dismissing someone's viewpoint on an issue because he himself is inconsistent in that very thing. So just because somebody's inconsistent about something doesn't mean that they can't have some wisdom on the issue. But this one is when you basically throw out their argument just because they're not consistent with the thing that you're talking about. So it's basically an appeal to hypocrisy. Tu quo qui is Latin for you too. Here's an example. Fred, I wouldn't smoke cigarettes if I were you. It is a bad habit and it will bring you all kinds of problems. Jake, don't tell me not to smoke. You smoke 2 packs a day. So you can see basically there's hypocrisy there in the you smoke 2 packs a day. Jake's comment is irrelevant to Fred's concerns. Smoking is still bad for Jake as well. There is a but. It's very hard to listen to someone who is lecturing you or giving you a hard time about the same problem they have. Remember that fact when you want somebody to listen to you. If you're doing a bad habit and you want to encourage somebody else not to do it, you probably should stop the habit first before encouraging them to stop the habit. The next fallacy that I'd like to talk to you about is the appeal to the people. Again, I have a video on this, so please pause this video and go watch the video that you will find on Classroom. And it's a YouTube video, and the title that you'll see is Learning Logic and Appeal. Those are the words that you'll see, and click on that one, watch it. I will wait here for you and come back when you're done and we will continue. So appeal to the people fallacy is claiming that our viewpoint is correct because many other people agree with it. So if the masses agree with us, it must be true. Example, my opponent thinks this war is killing innocent people, despite the fact a recent poll concluded 76% of Americans think it's okay. So see where they're pleading with the 76%, right? Okay, that's appeal to the people. Citing a poll showing a majority or a study showing a large amount of people agreeing with something is not a logically sound argument. More examples. This new book, The Fallacy Detective, must be the best logic book around. It's been on the bestseller list for months. We should all know the most popular isn't necessarily the best. This is an appeal to the people. Another one. It looks as if more people vacation in Florida than any other place. It must be the nicest place in America to visit. We can say it's a nice place to go, but not the nicest. Maybe people really want to vacation in Hawaii, but Florida is cheaper. The straw man fallacy. Changing or exaggerating an opponent's position to make it easier to refute. Example, mother, I think you have been playing too many of those video games lately. Son, oh, so you think I should just throw away my $1,000 video game collection and sit up in my room taking practice IQ tests all day? In other words, a straw man argument introduces an irrelevant position, a position in which no one in the argument believes in, and then they attack it. Another example, Dad, your mother and I have decided that we don't want you to date when you are this young, and when you are old enough, we believe there should be some parental supervision. Daughter, oh, now I understand. You're going to make me sit up in my room all my life until you pick out somebody for me to marry. We should not assume the worst about someone's beliefs. We should take the time to find out what they mean. Again, I'd like you to pause the video. There is a YouTube video on the straw man. So go ahead and pause this, pop over to Classroom, watch that video on straw man, and then you can come back and we will finish this out. We are almost done. Here are some examples, and I want you to look at them. I listen as I read and read it too, and then think about which fallacy you think this is. I know everybody thinks Einstein's theory of relativity is correct, but I can't accept it. Einstein didn't comb his hair. Think, which fallacy is that? I'll give you a second to think before I tell you what it is. That would be ad hominem, because it's attacking Einstein and the fact that he doesn't comb his hair. Has nothing to do with his theory of relativity being correct. Number 2, I don't see why you have the right to question where I get my money from. Wasn't it you 4 years ago who got caught up with other congressmen in money laundering? That one would be tu quo qui, because they're basically saying, well, you can't say anything about the fact I got my money from something funny. You did the same thing. You know, touche is kind of another way to say it. You too, you did the same thing, so you can't use that argument, which that is a fallacy, because though it's not a great idea to do that, it's still true, whether or not the other person did the same thing. 3, oh, you're opposed to capital punishment. You people make me sick. You don't ever think about the poor victims at all. That would be the fallacy of the straw man. Number 4, the Supreme Court is now deciding whether it is right to execute insane people who have committed murder. I think it's all right to execute insane people. If we ban executions of insane people, then everyone on death row will suddenly decide they are insane and purposely fail sanity tests. That would be a red herring. Number 5, I'm not gambling. This is bingo, not poker. It's different. We're not using a deck of cards. That would be special pleading. Number 6, every developed nation in the world has strict controls on firearms except America. Appeal to the people. Clyde, I don't think the North had any right to invade the South during Civil War. Sarah, I can't believe you said that. Slavery was cruel and brutal. The slaves should have been freed immediately. Straw man. Number 8, I wouldn't worry about a little cheating on the test Tuesday. The test format makes it so easy for you to do a little copying. Everybody else does it. This one is actually 2. It's tu quo qui and appeal to the people. Aaron, did you feed the dog? Janet, I carried the dog food in from the car. What do you think? Red herring, because it's totally like another subject. It has nothing to do with whether or not you fed the dog. We weren't talking about bringing the dog food in from the car. We were talking about feeding the dog. So that's all that I have for lesson number 2. So what I hope that helps you understand. Now I'd like you to go ahead and fill out that homework that's attached to CWP lesson 2. Hopefully you're up to speed now. And we will talk soon at CWP on Thursday. Take care.